Last week I read an interesting article, and it made me think about the vastness and the oneness that we have in our universe. And the article was saying that in one grain of sand, think of how small that is, in one grain of sand, there are more atoms than there are grains of sand on the entire planet. So if you think about that for a moment, one small grain of sand that's very, very small, almost not visible, contains more atoms than all of the grains of sand on the planet Earth. It's incredible to think about that. So then let's expand our thinking from there. Most scientists agree now that the whole universe was formed by a Big Bang. And now they're saying maybe 2 or 3. I think this just means they have no idea. They try to put it in models and they try to demonstrate it, but I truly think they have no idea. So if we think about this, they're saying that the Big Bang was infinite heat and infinite gravity. One single point. And somehow this point existed, and then somehow it exploded and created everything that there is, from the stars to the planets to the fabric of space, the gas clouds, the dust clouds, all the different atoms, everything. But they insist that it is not infinite, it is finite. And I guess I see what they're talking about. Because finite implies that there are only a certain number of grains, whatever that number is, atoms. So if we think about this vastness of space and our one little grain of sand that we're holding in our hand, how many atoms are there in the whole universe? To me, it's an infinite number. It's incomprehensible. There is no way to understand that number. But it is a number, whatever it is. And it is a created number. But maybe things are being created still to this day beyond the Big Bang. Maybe it's always been created. Maybe it's a living universe. That's something that we need to meditate on. Because when you understand the origination, which let's just call it the Big Bang, it was created. It creates from a certain point, 14 billion years ago, and it's expanded, or at least they think it has, to where it is now, and all of the gigantic quantity of creation that has occurred then, since that period. So everything from the little tiny atoms, the energies, the gamma rays, all of the things that have been created since that time. It is a living, breathing organism. And they're also saying that ours may not be the only universe. That we may be in a bubble universe, one of many universes. And then we can think about our solar system. The distance from Earth to the moon is just a huge amount of difference. And then the difference to the sun, way more. And the size of the sun compared to the earth. These are things you can look up. It's absolutely incredible to think about. And then to again take it a step further, that the distance from our sun to the next star, or our sun or our planet to the center of the Milky Way, the size of the Milky Way galaxy that we live in. They're saying somewhere between 100 and 200 billion, not million, billion stars. Each one of those stars has something around it. It may just be dust, it may be another star, maybe a dying star or a black hole. It may be creating by tearing things apart and recreating it. Maybe planets, maybe other living beings. We have no way of knowing at this stage. But you can rest assured it's something we cannot possibly understand with our human minds. But the whole point is that there is one origination. The origination starts with the Big Bang, an infinite amount of energy, an infinite amount of heat, gravity, from a very, very small focal point. This is where we all started. And over time, much time, we live in a vast universe, something that we can never understand. Just thinking about that small grain of sand and how many atoms that there are within that grain that is barely visible, it is more than all the grains of sand on our planet. So this alone gives us some ideas about what we might be part of or what significance we might have. So in the scheme of things, is what we are worrying about today or thinking about today or conspiring to do, good or bad, does it make any difference at all? Sure, we need to do things, we need to perform our duties, have our goals, work towards our goals, but we have to realize we're a part of something much, much bigger, something that was created. And I think that's where people get immersed into thinking about their life as the most important person, myself, and then my family, and all these other things. But we're all one. We're one with everything. And when we can finally get our head around that, life becomes much more peaceful. We get a sense of satisfaction. It's not us versus everything else. It's us as one. So today for meditation, I'd like you to start with an atom. So tiny, so very tiny, impossible to see. They've only recently photographed it. And I have no way of knowing or understanding just how small that is. But all you have to do to imagine that is think about a beach, and then think about all the beaches in the world. And that one tiny grain of sand that you might have in your hand has more atoms than all the grains of sand. And now think about all the grains of sand and how many atoms they may have. All the asteroids outside of Earth, the moon, the other planets, the sun, all the stars in our galaxy, all the things in our galaxy, all the galaxies out there, which they still have no idea how many that might be. Our galaxy is a medium-sized galaxy, and it has 100 to 200 billion suns in it. So our significance is not insignificant. It is that we are one. We are all part of this. We're of the same start. We're of the same inexplainable creation. We're of the same energy. So for the next several minutes, we're going to go ahead and just relax in that confidence, in that knowing of your creation, and that you are one part of something so gigantic and so powerful that's so difficult to understand. And that's what we're going to do, is try to drop away all our thinking of our importance and the things that we must do. We're going to release ourselves from that and allow ourselves to flow within this giant universe that we have, this huge created universe. We didn't magically show up through biological parents. This energy, this mass, has been around since the beginning of time, and even before. Relax in that confidence, knowing that you are a part of this oneness of the universe.